الرسول أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعص الله ورسوله فقد غوى. أما بعد فإن أصدق الكلام كلام الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها فإنما كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. فيقول الله جل وعز يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام وكفى بها نعمة. الحمد لله الذي أنار قلوب عباده المتقين بنور كتابه المبين وجعل القرآن شفاء لما في الصدور وهدى ورحمة للمؤمنين. Beloved Muslims, alhamdulillah, it goes without saying the blessing that Allah has bestowed upon us by giving us Islam. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to teach us to say alhamdulillah ala ni'mat al-Islam wa kafa biha ni'mah, that all praise is due to Allah for the favor that Allah has granted us with this ni'mah, this favor of Islam, this gift. And it's enough as a gift of Islam. Just walking through this campus, and I haven't been on any university campus like here in quite some time. And many years ago I was here, and I noticed just things that it made me change my khutbah. And one of the things that I noticed is probably how difficult it is to be Muslim, and difficult it is to hold on to your religion, your deen, in this environment and just in this culture, period. So I want to give words of encouragement that come from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet said to the companions, as he was talking to them one day, and he said to them, أنتم في الزمان من ترك ما عشرة ومن ترك عشرة ما أمر هلك ثم يأتي زمان من عمل بعشر ما أمر نجا أو كما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Prophet talking to the companions, pay very close attention. The Prophet ﷺ talking to the Sahaba, talking to the companions. And he told them, he said, you all are living in a time, talking to the companions, the cream of the crop, those whom Allah specifically selected to convey the message of Islam. He said, Antum fi zaman, you all are living in a time, man taraka ashra ma umira halaka. You all are living in a time that any one of you all choose to leave 10% of what you all have been commanded to do, bottom line, you're going to hell. You're going to be halaka. Halaka means you're going to be destroyed. Now let's just stop there first. Here the Prophet telling the Sahaba, you leave 10%. All the stuff that you've been commanded to do, all the things you've been told to stay away from, if you just try your best to just leave 10% of this, you're going to be destroyed. So here the Prophet ﷺ is giving them a very stringent program, letting you know you don't have that much luxury or wiggle room to do this dumb, to do the stupid stuff. You don't have that much wiggle room to sidestep Islam, to do the haram. Now why is this? Well, let's just take a look at something. One time the Prophet ﷺ, as he used to give the khutbahs, he used to lean on a tree and he would talk as he leaned on a tree. Then the Prophet, Ali ibn Abi, one of the companions said, وَلَمَّا سُنِعَ لَهُ مِنْبَرٌ. Then we made for him a minbar, a pulpit, where the Prophet ﷺ would sit, stand on. So he left leaning on the tree. Pay attention now, I'm going somewhere. He left leaning on the tree. He goes and he gets now and he stands up and he gives his religious talks on the minbar. The companion said, وَسَمِعْنَا. This tree was a jiddah. It was a date palm tree. he said, we heard the tree crying from like the crying of an Ishar. Ishar was like a camel. So they said we heard it, Kesota, Ishar, like the sound of a camel. He said, Sami'na, we heard. Not the prophet said it. The key part in this is that we heard it. So they said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam took his hand and kind of calmed the tree down. Now listen to this. This is the hadith. This is our deen. So he calms the tree down. Then the Prophet tells the Sahaba that the tree was crying because it misses the religious counsel, the religious knowledge that I used to give.
SubhanAllah.
So the tree in itself was conscious in its own little realm of existence of what the Prophet ﷺ was saying. So now the thing is, now the Sahaba is telling them, Antum fi zaman, you all are living in a time that if you leave, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. Why is he telling this? Because you are now getting exposed to some of the karamat, some of the miracles. If you hear a tree, if any one of us hear a tree cry, then naturally when somebody is asking you to do something in the way of Islam, in the way of Allah, you don't have no excuse, man. You're getting miracles. You're exposed to miracles that no one else is exposed to. So now you have no excuse for disobedience when you're exposed to trees crying. You understand what I'm saying? You understand where I'm going? So now the Sahaba, and there was a lot of different miracles, what they call the karamat. It's almost, it's just blazing in front of them. They hear rocks give salams to the Prophet. They hear certain parts of the creation. In fact, the Prophet ﷺ was a narration that a Bedouin, he was running after a wolf who had snatched one of his sheep. So when he got the sheep back, the wolf spoke to him. This is in Hadith. This is Sahih Hadith. The wolf spoke to him and said, Anta baini wa baina rizqi. You are coming in between me and my provisions. So of course the Bedouin looking at a wolf, man, what are you speaking? This is wild. This is a wolf speaking. And he says, Allah ukhbiruka a'jabu min dhalika. Can I tell you about something even more astonishing than this? He said, Rasul, there's a messenger between these two valleys that are telling the people about things that have happened in the past. In other words, he said, there's a prophet that's existing right now. So the Bedouin goes all the way to Medina and finds the prophet there and told him the story. So Allah allowed that Bedouin, who was not even a Muslim, to be exposed to a miracle at that particular period of time that was left in our legacy of knowledge. So now the Prophet ﷺ now is letting the Sahaba know that even this Bedouin was exposed to some supernatural things that you just don't hear about in this day and time. So now the Prophet ﷺ said, Thumma yati zaman, but there's going to come a time. Men amila bi ashri ma umila najah. There's going to come a time though, man, that we don't have these exposures. So he says now the time, the leniency, not giving you the okay to not practice Islam, but allowing you to understand that Allah understands the reason for our weaknesses in this day and time. Why? Because it's hard to practice the deen of Islam when there's so much corruption around you. So now Allah's mercy is even more because he realized that to make salat and you don't hear the adhan, and you sit there and you leave all of this madness to come and pray to me, I gotta give you. I gotta pay you. I got to give you much more. And my mercy is even more. Why? Because I know it's hard to sit there and walk past all that filthy, corrupt temptation that's out there. It's hard. So therefore, it's understandable. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying is that if you would just do 10%, just try your best. I don't mean 10% of salat is 5 and you start adding it up. No, it means that whatever efforts that you're trying to make in a time where it's very difficult, know that the mercy of Allah is there. Your weakness is understandable. So the first thing we do is we don't judge each other. There's no cookie cutting to this. There's no judging of one another saying this Muslim brother here and that Muslim sister there, whatever. Whatever efforts you trying your best to stay on the deen is very, very understandable to Allah and Allah's shakurun alim. There's a story of a Muslim by the name of Ibn Thaqafi. He was a Sahaba. And Ibn Thaqafi used to drink alcohol. So it's letting us know that even during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that there was companions still struggling with various vices. That when we read these stories, sometimes we read these stories and we think they all was just 100%. No, some of them was battling with this, and some of them battling with alcohol, some of them battling with gambling, fornication, all kind of stuff. These were human beings, but they're trying because they believe. But they're at different levels, like we are. So Ibn Thaqafi was an alcoholic. And so, well, he wasn't so much an alcoholic maybe, but he was a drinker. So when he embraced Islam, he still embraced Islam coming in with this drinking problem. So they would catch him sometimes. When they catch him, they would whoop him. They wouldn't let him go. They would whoop him. He'd say, I'm gonna stop. He'd come back again, and he starts doing it again, and he comes back. So he's trying to get off the bandwagon. He's trying to get off this drinking. So all of a sudden, there was a time where the companions had to fight in a jihad. So they tied up Ibn Thaqafi to one of the pillars of the masjid. Why did they tie him up? They tied him up because the companions understood that the nasr, the support of Allah, comes not because we're stronger or military ability, it's because of taqwa. They knew that, man, the more righteous we are, the better chance that we have to get the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how you get the help from Allah. It doesn't mean how good your deen is, I mean how strong you are, or that you look like you're superior and you got more numbers. It's all about the help of Allah. So the companions understood this. So they tied up Ibn Thaqafi because they knew Ibn Thaqafi, man, he drinks, and that might affect the support from Allah. So we want to try to purify our ranks so we can at least hope to guarantee the help of Allah. So they tied him up. Ibn Thaqafi didn't want to be tied up. So Ibn Thaqafi kept talking to one of the wives of the Sahaba, let me go. Let me go, please let me go. She's like, no, I can't let you go. They don't want you out there. He's like, please let me go. Please. So she kept asking, kept saying, now this is a man that drinks, but that has nothing to do with his true belief. Sometimes we have a tendency to think that a person's a hypocrite just because they're doing something wrong. Well, how does that connotate hypocrisy? Who doesn't? That would not be a khutbah if it was based on you being perfect Muslim. That has nothing to do with your faith. It may have something to do with your faith, but it doesn't mean that you don't really believe. So he convinced her. He convinced her. So she let him go. He jumps on a horse and he rides out his horse. He had a special horse. The Sahaba was like that. People in those days, they had special horses. Like I know that's Malik's Tesla. I know that's Muhammad's, BMW. I know, so they knew that, oh man, that's Ibn Thaqafi's, red camel or horse. They knew each other's horses. So when they saw his horse, he had wrapped his face up. So when he wrapped his face up, he was riding and he was killing him, man, fighting courageously. But man, one of the Sahaba, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, he said, man, it looked like the horse of Ibn Thaqafi, but we got him tied up. So I know that's not him. But they were curious. So after the battle, and everyone, Muslims was coming back, he asked me, he said, look, take that scarf off your face. Who are you? Take that scarf off your face. So he takes the scarf off his face. And they look and they were astonished. Ibn Thaqafi, subhanallah. What? But because of how he helped the Muslims win, they told me, they said, you know what? I know we tied you up, but we will never keep you away from the battlefield again. And he said, and I will never take another drink. Now, there's no report that he ever drank again. So now, what's the lesson? The lesson is that you may be struggling in one area, but don't allow Shaitan to just cause you to just don't do nothing. No, you work hard in the area that you're not struggling in, and Allah will reward you with the barakah by removing that away from you. You understand? This is very important to understand. That you're all going to sometimes battle with various different vices. You're struggling here, you're struggling there. That don't mean just give it up. That don't mean just surrender. That don't mean just cow it out. No. You continue to fight, but whatever it is that you're good at, then you do that, and you ask Allah, man, Allah, help me in this area here. Help me in this area. And Allah will take that barakah there and speak it. There was one great scholar by the name of Junaid. Junaid ibn Baghdadi. Rahimahullah. And Junaid said that whenever he was struggling, look at this wisdom. This was hikmah. he said whenever he was struggling with some type of fitna, some haram, say for example you're struggling with wasting time. This is what the scholars' struggles were. Wasting time, or not making prayer on time, whatever it was. He said he would always speak about that thing. Speak against it. So say for example you're struggling with porn. Let's keep it real. Say you're struggling with porn. Brothers putting their head down. I ain't talking about but say for example you're struggling with porn. So now this is something bothering you. Because it's important for you to always at least have that feeling that it bothers you to do something harm. When you get to the point where it doesn't bother you no more, now you're skating on thin ice. So any wrong that you're doing, at least always have that feeling, man, I got to rectify this. So Junaid ibn al-Baghdadi, rahimahullah, he said that he would go out and he would talk about it. So say for example you're struggling with porn, and then you in front of the Muslims, and you talking about, and all those that's looking at porn, this is haram, and this is haram, and you know you're doing it. But he's not doing it to be hypocritical. He's doing it because, number one, it's still a wrong, so he still has the responsibility to speak about a munkar, something that's wrong, but he's hoping that if he speaks about it, Allah will help him with it. This is the wisdom. So he said anytime he needed help in something, he would speak against it, and Allah knows where to place your deeds. He knows where to place your deeds. Allah don't give you something that you don't need. It's almost like a brother buy me a gift. He said, here's a skateboard. Oh, I appreciate it. I don't ride skateboards. I love a skateboard. But this is the thing. Allah will just know exactly where to give it to you. So there's a struggle to practice your deen. So know that any effort that you make, you don't hear their band card and you go and you make salat, know that Allah going to compensate you well. If every time you heard their band, now what? Now not doing it is a greater punishment. Imagine you in Morocco somewhere, you hear 9 or 10 adhans in Saudi Arabia, and you don't go to prayer. Now you're going to get it. Why? You didn't know it was time for salat? You get 10 adhans going at the same time. But here, it's different. You don't hear nothing, and you're going to make the salat? Then no. Muslim sisters wearing hijab in this film? No, the reward is even greater. But if everybody's wearing hijab and you take your hijab off, now the punishment is greater. Because you have no excuse. So when you're in a situation where there's a lot of wiggle room to do wrong and you choose to do some aspect of right, then know, as the Prophet ﷺ said, Najah, you're going to be what? You're going to be one of the saved ones. Don't take Allah lightly. He's very appreciative to your efforts that you make, especially when it's a struggle. Is it a struggle? Absolutely. Is it a struggle to make the salah? Absolutely. Is it a struggle for me and the Lord and gaze out there? Absolutely. You'll never get home if you stay down like this all day. It's serious. But Allah gives great reward. So do never belittle your efforts that you're making. You just hold on fast and do like Ibn Thaqafi. He didn't say, well, you know what, man, I'm not really a good Muslim. I'm drinking and, and it's the Sahaba and, this. No, he's still out there in the battlefield. He could have lost his life. But he's still out there. Why? Because he have a love for Allah and his messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You got to keep that love. Keep that sincere. Try your best to be sincere. And be strong Muslims as much as you can. But understand Allah is al-Ghafur rahim. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. There's another story about a man or a scholar who was teaching one of his students. And so the student, after learning so many years, and he finished, the scholar said, look, before you go, I'm going to teach you something. He was still a young guy. He said, I'm going to teach you something that's worth and more valuable than anything in the world. So he said, what is it? So he gave him a mas'ala. A mas'ala, for those that don't know, is like an Islamic ruling. Just gave him an Islamic rule. Sa'ala means to ask. Mas'ala is like to give you the answer to the question. So it gives you an Islamic rule, like a fatwa. So he leaves with this valuable knowledge, and he goes home. And when he goes home, his mother asks him to buy some groceries. She gives him a long list, go get these groceries, and she offers him the money. He said, no, Mom, I'm good. I got something that'll get the groceries because I got something more valuable than anything in the world. So Mom said, okay, all right, fine, go ahead. So he goes, he picks up all this stuff, bread, eggs, cheese, all of this, brings it to the counter, cashier rings it up, tells him how much it is. He say, look, let me tell you something more valuable than anything. He tells him that, he said, man, get out of my store. Takes his sandal off, hits him. And put that stuff back. What's wrong with you? So the boy leaves, goes to his mother. Mother said, where's the grocery? He said, Mom, I'm not feeling well right now. He goes to his teacher, he said, you played me. Why would you tell me something and then it's not about? He said, no, what happened? He said, I go to the thing, he hits me with the sandal, tell me. He said, he doesn't accept that as being valuable. So he said, okay, no. He said, here, take this. Give him a bag. He said, take this back. So the mother tells him, he said, you gonna get those groceries? He said, yeah, I got something now, Mom, I got it. He never looked inside. He said, but I got it. He goes back to the store, the guy said, I told you to stay out. He said, no, I got it, don't worry about it, I'm good. He said, okay, he gets all the stuff back, gets up again, he takes the contents of what's in the bag, puts them on the counter, nothing but stones. And the cashier like, you, and he takes the stone, he throws the stone, he says, I'm sorry, he scrapes the stones back up, and he goes, and now he's really sad. He goes back to his mother, he said, Mom, I'm just, goes to his teacher, he said, what are you doing to me? Why are you embarrassing me? I'm going to, he throws the stones at me, he said, okay, hold up. He said, what are you doing? But he loves his teacher, but I'll never listen to you again. And nobody accept me. Why are you doing this to me? What did I do to deserve it? He said, here, look. He said, take those stones to Fulan. Go to the soup. He said, you know the third store? He said, go to him. He said, tell him to appraise these, but don't sell them, just appraise them, and then bring them back. So he goes to the guy. He said, look, he said, Sheikh such and such told me to give you these stones. Praise him. He opens up, gives the stones, he gets the loop, he looks at it. Wow! Man, where did you get these from? I've never seen cuts. This is what? The boy said, give me the rocks. Give me the stones back. Yeah, every single one of them. He put them back in the bag. He goes to his teacher. He tells his teacher, he said, wow. He said, I didn't know. He said, I go to the guy at the store. He said, he treats them like trash. I go to the jurors, and he tells me they're more valuable. They're very valuable. He said, that's the lesson I wanted to teach you. When people don't have knowledge of something, they look at it as trash. But when people have knowledge of the value of something, man, then they treat it like that. Understand that you can't treat Islam like trash because you got to understand the value of what Allah has given us in this time of global confusion. This is madness out here. What Allah has given us with Islam, I'm telling you, Muslims, whether you practicing, you trying your best, whatever it is, the value of what Allah has given us in this day and time, we got it made. It's the sweetest thing ever. Don't you ever give your Islam up. I don't care how much Islamophobia. If you're on the truth, why wouldn't they say something about it? That's the nature of it. If they're not talking about us, who out there talking about the Jehovah's Witnesses? Who out there saying them Jehovah's Witnesses, them Christians, who are they talking about? No, that's not the nature of truth. People always attack truth. So if they attacking Islam, then no. Like I told the people back in Chicago, I said, how many, you have, every now and then you have it. But how many times do you find people leaving Islam going to Christianity? You got droves of people leaving other religions and coming to Islam. That's a sign. That's a sign. Very seldom you find the opposite. So be happy and be proud and understand, man, we're on the truth. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you're doing. You never give up your Islam. You never give up your belief in Allah and His messenger. So I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. I don't care how the slander, all of that. You take it in stride. You keep your head up. And you keep bowing your head down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You never give up your Islam. I don't care what it looks like. Muslim sisters, you never give up your Islam. I don't care how Beyonce's looking. I don't care how Rihanna's looking. I don't care who it is that's out there that's supposed to be this. You never give it up. We own the truth. This is real business here. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give us a reward. He's going to pay us full. And these people are going to be saying, Ya laytani qaddamtu li hayati. What did I put forth? What is going on? What happened? What was I doing? If you're making your salah, can you imagine going back to Allah, God, Rabb al-Kaaba, Rabb al-Alameen, and you got pages of salat? And think about the person that go back to Allah, live 90 years, and don't have a page in his book of deeds of salat. Do you know that's crazy? You go all the way back after living here, and you go back and you don't have one salat in your record. We have salats in our record. Yeah, I know we thinking about our exams, we thinking about other stuff, and we struggling with it or whatever, but you still bowing down. You don't have to. You don't have to be here. You don't have to be here. But you're doing it. You think he's not going to recognize that? You think he's just going to look at that and say, well, you know, no. God's going to take care of us. Just keep holding on fast. And when we leave, just like we gathered here, we're going to gather on the day of judgment, and Allah is going to give us what he has promised us, and we're going to be like, man, I'm glad that I was Muslim. I'm glad that I believe. And you're going to have moments where you were struggling, and you're going to have moments where you weren't really deening, and you're going to have moments where you think about, man, maybe leaving Islam, and all that stuff's a part of the program. That's the price of admission. It comes with the territory. We all battle with this. This is all a struggle. This ain't easy to do right in this day and time. It's not easy. And Allah didn't mean for it to be easy. Even he said, that salat, yeah, I know it's difficult. 5 times a day, bowing down, making wudu. I know that, but man, do it. Trust me, because I got something for you at the end. I'm Allah. If you know you're not responsible for you being you, then you know somebody is. Allah is a shot call over the universe. You better go with his program. Trust me. You better go with his. This is real business. So we ask Allah to keep us strong. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us. We ask Allah to bestow his mercy and forgiveness upon us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us strong iman. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to die, don't die except in the state of Islam. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا ما وعدتنا على رسولك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين في العالمين إنك